guys, and welcome back to Honey We're Home. I'm Caroline Crawford Patterson.
And we both sound like smokers.
I was just going to say, because I didn't know you lost your voice, but I've lost my voice from this Bachelorette trip. So you're welcome if you're listening.
What a good episode this will be.
You're have like a nice little moody, a little less screechy.
2 podcast hosts with no voices.
Yeah. Let's get it going.
Honey, we're home, baby.
But like men think the raspier voice is like sexy.
Yeah, so do women. Like I love a raspy voice.
I came home from my trip and John's like, oh my God, Raspy Caro is here.
Raspy Caro is here. You look like a whole new person.
Do I?
Yeah, the freckles we were just talking
the freckles?
about. I drew mine on. Caroline.
I don't think you can see them if you're watching, but I did try to cover some up because my whole face is like one puffy freckle at the moment.
Was the sun very strong?
You don't even want to know the places I'm burned in.
Okay, tell the listeners where you went and why.
Okay, I went to Turks and Caicos for a Bachelorette trip, which brings us to kind of the subject of the episode, which is Bachelorette trips, girls trips. We have the funniest horror stories. We have the funniest stories of our own. This is going to be such a great episode. What do you do? What do you not do?
Well, it's the season.
It's the season.
It's perfect timing. We're getting into the warm weather. A lot of you are saying you're being invited on these ridiculous Bachelorette trips and girls trips too.
And girls, one thing I want to say before we get started, because I know we have some catching up to do, but my narrative around Bachelorette trips is that I love them. And I think even though there can be frustrating parts of them, I think that we should set the tone, even through the horror stories, that I'm just going to say this because I have a theory. Always have a positive perspective going on Bachelorette trips and always view them like what a privilege it is to be close enough to this person that they want me there celebrating with them like their ultimate girls trip. So that's number 1. Number 2 is if you haven't had your Bachelorette trip yet, do your best not to get frustrated at aspects of what's going on and not to complain, because chances are 9 out of 10 times when you have your Bachelorette trip, those same issues will occur for you, or there are other things that are going to frustrate your group. And when you are the negative person on the trip, when it comes time for it to be your turn, the disposition of your friends' baseline is going to be negative. Because you've been so negative on theirs.
Yeah, like what goes around comes around.
Exactly. So always try to be as celebratory as possible, because one day, all the things that you complained about giving to your friend, I guarantee you're going to want them for yourself. And it's my belief that you deserve that for yourself.
I agree with all of the above, and I agree with the positive perspective. I think it's easier said than done because I've luckily, knock on wood, not been on a Bachelorette party trip where I think the bride sets the tone for the whole trip. I think if the bride's happy, people are happy. I think if she's kind of being demanding and ungrateful and thinking that everybody should lay out a red carpet for her to walk on the whole time, then that adds like tension to the whole vibe and the trip.
Yeah.
I do think there can be a bad egg on a Bachelorette party that's not the bride. That can also bring the whole mood down.
I agree.
But ultimately, I think bride sets the tone. So you're less likely to have a bad egg or two if the bride
sets the tone.
Is in a good headspace.
And I think that that's important. But how does the bride be in a good headspace? There are like things you can do for that. You know what I mean? Like plan. Like know that you are doing a trip for a lot of girls and plan. Like don't, or have someone plan, you know, like be prepared. But I've realized like it's less about who's like what the action is and about who is taking the action. So like if a bride is like, this is my weekend to shine, of course in an appropriate way, but she's always the girl that's shown up 100% for everybody else.
Right.
You are like, yes, let's shine.
Yeah.
If the bride is like, this is my weekend to shine, but all they've ever done is be the bad egg on a Bachelorette or be the complainer, you're way less likely to be on board with that plan.
Because you're resenting.
Yeah.
her.
So I think, you know, keep it that way. Like just monitor that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just always be good. Go in it with a grateful perspective. Like go into the trip with a perspective. It's a privilege to be able to go on any vacation, let alone like a Bachelorette party. yeah, I mean, you're there to have a good time. It's hopefully 3 nights max. Nobody really needs a longer one.
We did 4 this time.
Oh.
I think, well, okay, so here's the thing, because I know that as I'm listening to us say, Turks is far. So as I'm listening to us say, like, it's a privilege, I understand that there are nuances like cost and stuff. And I do stand by the fact, like, have a good perspective the whole time, knowing that you have your own boundaries. So, like, don't agree to go on a trip that you can't afford and then be negative. So, like, you need to say, okay, I'm either subjecting myself to the cost of this trip and I'm going to make it work, or like maybe I can't afford it at this time, so it's not a pressure to make it work. I know what I'm doing. I'm signing myself up for this. So, like, I'm not going to make it someone else's problem because I drew my own boundary that I was going to go and make the trip work financially. Right. Or, you know, you can't go. And then that's where, as a bride, you have to practice, like, patience and gratitude and just being a good friend. Do, like, never be upset at your friend if they can't go financially. Set that expectation from the beginning. If you can't go, it's okay. Hold true to that. I agree with 4 nights when it takes a long time to get there.
Turks and Caicos 4 nights.
Yeah, because it's out of the country. However, there were quite a few people on this trip that could only go 3 nights, and that's got to be okay with the bride too.
Yeah, because
people have to work.
I think that's so cool. Were there a lot of people on this trip that could not go because of finances? Because Turks.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, let's catch up. Yeah. So the trip, fantastic. Turks and Caicos, 4 nights. Everybody, like, agreed on the date. Like, there was, like, a poll for the date for all of the bridesmaids at least, you know, and I definitely think that that's great. Right? Yes. Some people went 4 nights. I went all 4 nights. Some people went 3 nights. Like, that's okay too. I think it's okay if, like, that's what you need to do for you. Don't just do it because you don't really want to go on the trip. Mm-hmm. And, like, you're trying to, like, skate out of it. Like, if you can go the whole time, you should always go the full time.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
You have
an opinion on that?
I have an opinion on that.
Okay, so it really was fantastic. Like, it was so hot. I got burnt in places I don't even want to discuss. We did the boat day. It was great. Like, we did that infamous swim up bar at Noah's Ark that everyone goes to.
Where'd you guys stay?
We stayed in a villa. Our villa was great. It was in the middle of, like, a construction site. So, like, we were just, like, around all of these buildings that, like, fully weren't built yet. So it was just, like, a running joke the whole time. But overall, like, it was absolutely, you know, like, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, everything. Here's the thing. I went with my friend that's getting married. She's a high school friend, and then we also went to college together. So this is, like, my last trip where I had college friends and high school friends on the trip.
Wait, that's fun.
I mean, if you guys could see, I'll post some of these pictures. When we went to the swim up bar, like, when you are with your high school friends, you revert to the literal most, like, playful, childish version of yourself.
Yes.
So there's this, like, in-water trampoline. We're, like, granted, the bride so generously was like, I'm going to help out with the boat so that we can get a really nice boat for a whole day.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean help out? Like, pay?
Yeah. Like, it was extremely generous.
So that you're saying that she's gonna help, like pay
she covered a huge portion of the boat.
Oh, that's really nice of her. I thought you meant just, like, paid her way, and
no,
I was like, that's normal.
Yeah, sorry to be really ADD, but, like, yeah, I think the bride should always pay her portion. Same. I don't like that narrative where you're expected to pay for the bride.
Same. I feel like that's silly about that below.
So we pull up in our, like, really nice boat, and there are, like, 5 of us sprinting through the water to get to this trampoline. We're jumping on this trampoline. I get up, I'm first. I'm like screaming to everybody. I'm like, one person get up at a time. Everyone just stands up all of a sudden.
Yeah, you're trying to
control. And then it's like it's this really out of shape trampoline. So you're just, like, running in a circle. No one can get their balance. You're literally whacking people over. I have this friend since 1st grade. Her name's Sally. She, like, falls over and she immediately goes into this ball and she's like, popcorn. Like, that's, like, the vibe. So it's
children.
No, it's children.
In the best way possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I love an in-water trampoline. I love the vibes. I've never been to Turks, but I am going to go, mark my words, one of these days. And it sounds like a blast. You guys were jumping off an abandoned ship at one point.
Okay,
you didn't
not
do
me.
It. I can tell. I could tell. I knew you didn't do it.
You knew I didn't do it?
And I was like, Caroline, get up there and jump off the goddamn ship.
That's what John said.
Like,
John's like, why didn't you jump?
Live a little. It did look high and scary, though.
No, but I mean, it's like tetanus waiting to happen, Nicole.
And that is how, like, people get paralyzed, God forbid.
I'm, like, at the bow of the ship, and I'm like, I'll record you, but lock eyes with me and see me shaking my head at you. Because, like, my big sister sat in, and I was like, get your ass down.
Who all did the ship?
Of course, it was my high school friends.
Crazy ones.
Oh, my God. Like,
high school friends are unhinged.
And the bride, just like, you guys, I know you're adventure seekers, but, like, we saw the boat.
To go to.
And one of you's like the bride.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my heart was like palpitating.
I would have done it.
I know you would have done it.
But I could tell by the video that you posted on your story that you were filming and did not do it. And I was like, she didn't do the boat.
I would have like vomited off the side.
It looked so fun. Was there any drama?
No.
Let's get to the real stuff. Be honest.
Yes. No, there wasn't drama. Here's the thing. I love this attitude in retrospect. Because we did a place that was out of the country. So A, people needed to have more time, like to get off of work. B, there was like a huge group at first. And so the likelihood that the date fit for everybody was pretty slim. And then C, obviously it's Bachelorette season. So like I love inviting people that are not just in your bridal party on the Bachelorette.
Yes.
And so it's an opportunity just for you to have the ultimate girls trip. Because of that, and obviously people have a lot of going on. Like you have to pick and choose like what trips you're going on, especially when it comes to like honestly like where your resources going. And this was like obviously a longer trip, and so a lot of people didn't go. And so I feel like what ended up happening is the people that really wanted to be there were there, which meant the energy was already great.
Yeah, I like that. Kind of weeded out the bad eggs. Not that they're
like I don't know, right? And I don't know that there really would have been any, but if I had to like hypothesize on it, I would say the chances that there were going to be one were very slim, because if you like to go on this trip, you had to really, really want to go.
You had to want. That makes total sense. I think too, when you're being asked, listeners out there, when you're being asked to go on trips like this, like a bachelorette party, really think, no matter where it is, if it's far, even if it's local, do I really want to celebrate this person? Because that is, at the end of the day, the purpose of the trip. Do you love that person enough to fork over X amount of money to celebrate them?
Yeah.
And deep down, if you find that you don't, maybe stay home.
That's a boundary. I sent this text on my Bachelorette before we went, and I feel like everyone should do it. But I just was so nervous because I was one of the first of my friends to get married, and like one of the first, especially for a bachelorette party, because it was during COVID. I was like, here's the deal. I need everybody to take a moment to decide what triggers you on a trip. Like, how often do you need alone time? When do you need rest? What's likely to go wrong for you? If you like, identify those things before we go, and then just be aware the entire trip. I think everyone should feel safe to say, like, I'm going to hang back at the hotel for a second, or I'm going to go on a beach walk by myself. And no one is allowed to be judgmental of those acts, because what we know is happening is that person is giving themselves space to either like calm down or rejuvenate or rest or whatever it is, so that they can be like the best version of themselves throughout the duration of the trip.
There was actually a lot of that on my bachelorette party. We didn't like set the precedent or talk about it at all before, or even during, but I noticed I had a couple of friends that like my bachelorette party was like a bachelorette party on crack. You had to be go, drink, crazy. It was Tulum, Mexico. It was right after the pandemic on the tail end, so everybody was ready to party.
Yeah, and mine too.
There was a good amount of people who, not a good amount, but a handful of people who from time to time we're like, we're going to sit this activity out. We just need a beat at the villa to chill.
Yeah.
And I remember like one or two of my friends were like, you know, trying to almost kind of like, why is so-and-so trying to stay back? Like, that's late. And I was like, no, let them. They're not used to this lifestyle. None of us are, unless you're, I don't know, crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're not used to this lifestyle. Like, if they need a moment, I'd rather them take their moment and then meet us at the beach club with energy.
Yeah.
Because that's fine. And you can't, and I feel like that is a drama starter on a lot of bachelorette trips I've heard, where that person or those people want to take that breather, and bride or maid of honor or whoever gets like really mad and is like, takes that as like a personal dig, when it's not at all.
No, it's not. And I think beyond that, the rest of the group understand that that's what they need to do. You don't have to do the same thing that they're doing. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to sit this out or that you have to be chill. Like, look at it through the lens of they're doing what serves them in this moment so that they can be the best version of themselves on a trip. And so whatever your vibe is, do that vibe. And don't be embarrassed of it or ashamed of it, just like they're not embarrassed or ashamed of what fits for them. And I think as we get older, we don't have to say it, you know?
Yeah. I also think there's a balance though. Like if it already is a chill bachelorette, like, and they're, then try to rally for the bride, you know?
That is a great point. We did experience this kind of, and I have before. It's like bring the energy. Like somebody kickstart it.
Right. Like on a normal vacation, you might be more inclined to take those breaks though. But at the end of the day, do still keep in mind you are there on a bachelorette party. So like if it takes a little extra rallying and you're like, oh, I really didn't want to go to breakfast at this time, but
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Like
it doesn't matter. It's their trip.
Push yourself.
Yeah, push yourself. And that's where I feel like you can really get stuck being selfish. And it's like, that's just not the time for that.
Yeah.
Like, go home and sleep. Like, that's the thing. And that's where I have the mentality that it's like either you wanted that exact same thing on your batch or you're going to.
Right.
And so whatever it is that you're exhausted of in that time, unless you really need, like you need to recoup and like be by yourself for a second, rally, bring the energy.
I look at bachelorette parties like an extreme sport.
They are
prepping, you're preparing, you're training, and then you get there and there is an end date in sight, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You are looking towards that end date, but until then, you are playing the game and you're giving it your all.
Every bachelorette trip should be gone into with the goal, I want to top the best weekend of my life with this one.
Yeah.
Every single one should be gone into that way.
And give your friends, whoever, a good time.
No, absolutely.
But like, not too good of a time.
Yeah, I mean, don't be too crazy.
Let's control the drinking.
So I fell off my no gluten train on the last night.
That's okay.
It was on purpose. But I've learned something really important. And I think this will funnel into what your catch up is about being done drinking.
Yeah.
So
be quick with it.
Yeah. So I went like 3 weeks without it and I was like feeling so good. So I was like, I'm going on this trip and I'm not going to do gluten because I want to feel good about myself when I wake up. I want to be energetic. I don't want to be lethargic and having a hard time getting going for the bride. So I didn't. The last night, and I felt great the whole time. The last night I was like, whatever, it's the last night. So I like had pizza, I had beers, woke up the next day. I'm like sweaty. I like felt like I was going to throw up, but it like wasn't a hangover throw up. And I just felt generally way more hungover. And so the past 3 days, I'm like, this is my little gluten bender. And even right now, I'm like, I have no energy. I feel like I'm going to barf. I've learned things.
Yeah.
For me, my vice, or not my vice, but like I can't have gluten. My hangover actually isn't that bad. I've spent a lot of time thinking like, oh, I should just cut out drinking or I should drink less because everybody else is doing it and I feel like I should and I have to. My goal is to feel good when I wake up every day and to be productive and for things not to interfere with my life and my routine and my work.
Right.
And I see other people saying when I cut out drinking, those things happened for me. I've realized I don't need to do what everyone else is doing. Yes, drink like not a lot. Like don't drink an unhealthy amount. But like I'm okay with that. For me, where I fall is like when I'm eating gluten, especially when I'm drinking, like I am hungover, I am sick.
Recipe for disaster.
I can't function.
Yeah.
It takes me days to recover.
Yeah.
But when I'm not, like
your body's just so not used to that mix.
Right. So I'm switching my focus to say like, that's such a healthy move for people to say like, I'm just going to cut out drinking. And I'm okay like with drinking. Like I'm okay with the amount I drink or like when I choose to drink and when I choose to not like throughout the week or on a trip. I have to put that focus in like what I'm eating for my body.
It's all about what we're putting in our bodies.
So tell us.
I guess I said Caroline can't be the only one having fun this weekend. I went to dinner with my friends, two of my friends who I haven't seen in a while that I used to work with, became good friends with. Just one of those like, you know you're going to have a good time because they're just fun, cool people.
Yeah.
But they they're uppers. They were like, let's go out after. I
Yeah.
didn't plan. I was like, oh, I wanted 1 drink at dinner, and then we have the 3 drink max rule.
We have a 3 drink max rule.
Let's just say I drank a little more than I should have, and I just don't like getting like that. A, I don't like how drunk I am out and about in the world like that.
Yeah.
And B, it's not safe.
No.
I'm not trying to sound like a mother here, but it's true. And C, I just do not like how it makes me feel. Today is Tuesday. This happened Saturday. I still feel
bad.
hungover. And I guess it's because my age. I don't know. I just don't like how it makes me feel. I've had massive anxiety, heart palpitations.
Oh,
you
God.
asked me if I wanted a coffee this morning. I said, get that caffeine away from me.
I know that feeling.
But that, I like the Nicole that, yes, wants a coffee because she's not anxious. Drinking is no bueno for me. I'm an all or nothing person, and it's hard for me to control going all in or not. So I've decided, I downloaded a fucking app to track it. I decided I'm not going to go, and I'm not, here's the thing. I know there are people who have to really cut it out and respect them. I'm not going to do a hard and fast stance. And if I have 1 drink in the next 3 weeks, I'm going to crucify myself. No, I'm not going sober forever.
Yeah.
I don't think I really need it that bad, but I just want to take a break for a minute.
Wait, you want to establish balance?
Yes.
I did that. I don't know when it was. It was 1.5 years ago. I had this one night. It was right after I discovered martinis because they will F you up.
Yeah, that's what
I was so bad that I was just embarrassed of my existence.
Yeah.
And so I know what you're saying because I have established at a point where I know now don't keep drinking. And I used to be it doesn't really matter.
Right. Which I'm decent at that for the most part. There's just within the past couple months, there's been a few times where I just kept going. And I don't like getting like that.
Yeah.
And I just know myself, and I know that once I take a break for a little while, that'll get me back on track. I know I'm at a point in my life where drinking even 1 or 2 drinks at a dinner is not even what I need. I just need to buckle down, focus for myself. And again, I'm going on vacation with my family next week. So
I really wait, I did tell you, I texted you, I said, I've decided that I will focus on health when I'm at home.
Yeah.
And I will always abide by my 3 drink max rule and only drinking 3 days a week or whatever it is, and making sure that I'm having these days where I'm not having a glass of wine at dinner or whatever. I will always be healthy. And then I'm just going to be a no rules on vacation gal.
Yeah, you did say that. Well, that's the thing. On vacation with my family, I may need to turn to
I think and that's my balance where I'm I'm never going to restrict myself from having fun on vacation if that's what I enjoy and I'm okay and it's not debilitating my next day and ruining my vacation.
Right.
But I do believe in the brain health and the body health and everything behind it all.
That's the thing. I'm just going to give it a try for a minute.
I love that.
I've gone on these little sober spells. I've done this before, and I've liked how it's made me feel.
Yeah.
So
you do feel fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. We'll keep up with it.
I need to just be a little more clear-headed mentally, physically, everything. So,
wait, I love that. Speaking of that, because that is a good recommendation to just try to do a little pullback of the week.
Yeah.
Do you want to blow through our recs of the week really quickly? Because we have quite a few.
We have a lot. Okay. So my rec ties into being sober, actually. So we love a mocktail or a morning drink. So coffee, today I refused one, but I had one before. That's because that was my second. But my making coffee at home game has been so strong lately. I do the Nespresso, the double espresso dolce pod.
That's good.
And then I put it over ice with a little bit of coconut milk or almond milk with a little bit of a sweet creamer of some sort. And then I got the International Delight cold foam. I saw it on Acquired Styles TikTok, so I can't really take credit. But she made it with the cold foam on top. I said, Mike went out to the store Saturday. I said, pick this up. We're obsessed with doing little cold foam. I mean, it's Starbucks, but better. Let me just say right there. So that's my morning rec. And
I love that.
My nighttime drink these days to put my ass to sleep for the entire night. I am doing an Instagram story partnership with them, so I got it for free and everything. But Mary Ruth's, this company that does all organic supplements, love them. They do a nighttime multi-mineral, which has like magnesium and all these great things in it. I swear this isn't my ad. I just truly love the stuff. But it's their coconut flavor. I mix it with pineapple juice and coconut milk, mix it all up. Mike and I slurp it down. Ew.
But you like the word slurp, so it's fine.
Yeah, I like weird words. Weird descriptors like that.
No, you use slurp like twice a week.
I really do.
Yeah.
I say guzzle and slurp. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I love it. It's not too much magnesium, just the right amount.
Yeah.
And it tastes like a pina colada. And it's so
I like
good.
that you said too much magnesium because like I've put myself in like a magnesium like
You'll shit
I don't
your
know what you
pants.
call it. Like it's too much, and I started getting like heart palpitations, and I was like,
Yeah.
What's
You can overdose on lots of things. Magnesium
you really
being
can.
one.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your Rex?
So many. Mine are like quick though. Discovered chrome over your pedicure for a vacation. Very, very cute. For your toes, I thought it was going to be trashy. Listen, it's not. I have it right now. If it wasn't weird to show you my toes, I would. I have like the softest. It's like almost like it's a light pink, but it's not as pink as my nails. And there's a chrome over it. So it's just like a little like glow. It's like how your skin is glassy. It gives you glassy toes.
Oh, I love that.
It's not shiny or reflective. I mean, if you get the white chrome, it's glossy. So I'm thinking like a bubble bath, great. Any kind of mid-transparent white color, great. A light pink, great.
Love.
Even if you're the type of girl that does like a yellow on their toes for vacation, I think it would just look glossy.
I like that.
Number 2 is a hair gloss instead of conditioner for especially beaches. Like I do the Way hair gloss now, and I do it like once
I've
or
never
twice a
used
week.
hair gloss.
Well, I only wash my hair twice a week. Love a hair gloss instead of conditioner. It's changing the game for me. My
Interesting.
hair is shiny and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Then batch related, always do a boat day if you can.
Yes.
I think it's just absolutely phenomenal. And I'm a huge fan of doing like the spur of the moment activities. We did banana boating. It's like tubing, but you like are on that banana.
Mm-hmm.
So fun. Like be a kid.
Yeah.
You can't do that on vacation with just your significant other. Think about the things you can do with the group and then do
I
it.
do the banana boat at experience camps.
Yeah, the banana boat is fantastic. My other thing is I think you guys should gift your brides styling packages as the group for the bride on the Bachelorette trip.
Your styling packages.
Yeah, mine specifically. But I did the bride styling for the whole weekend, and I feel like she felt so beautiful, and it was
Light
like
as
so
a feather too, probably, because that's just such a big part of Bachelorette
Yeah.
party planning that we don't talk about. The outfits.
The outfits are a stressor, and I love doing themes that incorporate things you already have in your closet. It's just like a general vibe.
Ooh.
I prefer themes in terms of like the night. Like, what is the music vibe going to be? What are the drink vibes going to be? The pregame, the energy.
What themes were on this one?
Well, Slim Aaron's was like the house theme, and I can't take credit for that. My friend Sally
What
did that. It
was
was
it?
great. Slim Aaron's, like
I don't get it.
like he's a photographer, so it's like okay, we'll look it up later.
Oh, that was the theme. Wait.
The house theme, like the weekend theme. Okay, it's like retro.
Okay.
It's like retro tropical.
If I saw it, I'd be obsessed.
But we did a fish
But-
fry one night, so we did like crochet and Keikos. So it was like crochet and Keikos.
That's
What
cool.
obviously it's what it is.
Crochet is very in right now.
Yeah, I always love a pretty and
Sound like
pink
a
night.
grandma.
Everyone's in white. The bride's in a color.
Yeah.
So like reverse it. I forgot the other ones off the top of my head, but like that's the only one where you have to wear a specific color.
I love a theme.
Everything else just a vibe. I think it sets the tone for getting everybody hype, and it reduces confusion and delay in terms of like what energy are we on tonight.
I'm Googling Slim Aaron's right after this.
But I do think it's nice because then the bride feels really special, like someone helped her get outside of her comfort zone to try new cool stuff.
Do we want to do Are You Smarter Than Google to get into our audience Rex?
I think we should.
The one we came up with was, what is the most popular bachelorette party destination? Wait, before we do it though.
I'm not going to click search yet.
Okay, here you were looking at.
Oh my
okay.
God, it's the second most searched thing.
I'm sure it is.
I didn't even finish typing it in. Okay.
I'm
What
going
do
to go
you think
out
it
on a
is?
crazy limb and say I've never been on a bachelorette party here, but it's got to be Nashville.
I think it's going to be a bit of an outdated result. I think the most popular in the U.S. is probably Miami, but I think it's going to say Vegas.
Oh, it
Because
might
it's-
say Vegas.
I just feel like it's
Top 5 is definitely Vegas,
Okay, yeah.
Miami, Austin.
right now, yeah.
Nashville.
And Is it Scottsdale maybe?
Yes.
But they might say New York.
Scottsdale. No.
I mean,
think those
we
are
could
top
be
5.
totally wrong and it could just be like Mexico.
Yeah, but U.S.
Oh my God, it gave us a top. Oh my God, represent Charleston. I'm number 3.
Oh, I forgot about Charleston.
People really love that.
Yeah. I've never been at all, let alone
It's a
on
great,
Match.
before I knew it was really popular, someone messaged me, was like, should we go to Charleston or this place? And I was like, not Charleston. Because I didn't really think it was fit for bachelorettes. But I think it is.
You grew up there.
Yeah, I didn't experience it in
What
that way.
are the top?
Nashville's number 1.
I knew it.
You won.
And I did not look that up before.
Well, there are 20 more. Okay, but I won. Vegas is top 5. Nashville, Austin,
I knew
Charleston, New Orleans is number 4. And
Never been.
Vegas is number 5. I'm going to keep going because this is too good. 6 is New York City.
Weird.
7 is Napa. I like that as we get
Almost
older.
did.
I want to do that.
I almost did Napa.
Anybody that wants to invite me on a bachelorette trip to Napa,
Sick.
yeah, just let's go.
Sickening.
Savannah, Scottsdale, the Hamptons. And I think that's
Oh.
top 10. And then all of the Mexico ones are in the next top 10. San Juan was mine. That's in top 20. You've got Tulum, Cabo. Where was yours? Yours was Tulum. Yeah. So ours are in 10 to 20.
Wow. I knew Nashville
Boston.
would be because
That's
I've been
actually
to
funny.
Nashville for work
Yeah.
twice. Once or twice. I forget, honestly. But I do know. No, twice. The times I've been there, it's just all bachelorette parties. They're all themed. They're all wearing the cowboy.
They also have the best like bachelorette Airbnbs.
Yeah. So we had a lot of really funny submissions from you guys, just bachelorette, girls trip, overall horror stories. So we're just going to read through some of them and go through. This is one I want to discuss quickly. She said, this isn't a horror story, but I do have to miss my BFF's batch this spring, and I don't know how to make up for it. It's her best friend.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts? Is it okay to miss a best friend's bachelorette party?
In this scenario, yes, because the keyword is she said I have to.
Right. And I think it obviously depends on the circumstances so much, but I think like the number one reasons that it's okay to miss a batch party is finances. You can't tell somebody you must spend this amount of money.
Yeah.
So if this person financially can't afford it, then let them not be able to. So finances,
Yeah.
I think mothers get to do whatever the fuck they want when you have a baby.
Oh, when you have a baby, yes.
Yes.
I was wondering if I wanted the context, and I was wondering if she might be pregnant.
Yeah. Or pregnant.
Because I do think there's a rule around this that is like, as the bride, you need to work around, like obviously have dates that work for you, and then go to your best friends and be like, what works for you? You can't just like pop a date in the chat 3 months in advance and say, be there, be square.
Right. But if even if one of my best friends, let's say, had a 6-month-old and was like, Nicole, listen, I want to go to Tulum so bad, but I really don't feel comfortable leaving my baby or kid. I don't care how old the kid is. I would be okay with that.
I'm going to be annoying because I'm not a mom, but I think if your child is like 6 months old, it's like, I mean, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm just going to be like, okay, you're going to have to leave your baby eventually. Like, I don't know. My friends with kids are very much like, I love being a mother. I have no intention of losing like my relationships with my friends or like my ability to have fun. And so like, for example, I have a friend who was on this trip and 2 of my friends were the life of the party. Both of them, like one has a toddler, one is a new mother.
Yeah.
And like the new mother said multiple times, she said, because I have a husband that is so equipped to take care of the child, like I am so carefree on this trip. I have no concerns in the world. I didn't have to prep him for anything. And I really think that it should be a goal, like to be able to do that, to be able to feel comfortable and safe to leave your baby with your partner.
Yeah. I mean, that's ideal.
If you have a partner, of course.
If you have a partner, especially if you have one that you can trust, I think that's the perfect world. And who knows? And I know when I'm a mom one day, I'm probably going to like love being invited on a bachelorette trip and be like, please let me get away. And like, this will be a little escape. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm already psycho about leaving Louis. I'm like vetting dog sitters like they're like I'm in the
there's
FBI.
a healthy, like I think there's a healthy in between. And I've said to friends before and I've said to my parents, like and you could say to Jenna, like your
Mm-hmm.
older sister, if you see me form these really unhealthy attachments, please say
Mm-hmm.
something, because you know that it's really terrible for your mental health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you don't really want to get to that place.
Yes.
But I don't know if this girl is missing it because of a baby. I think that if you can make it on your friend's trip, you should make it. I think that you should do everything physically possible to make it. But
Mm-hmm.
she's saying that she has to miss it. So I'm saying, like,
She probably has a good reason.
yes, 100%.
So I think it's okay. And then just like tips on how to make up for it. Because if it was my best friend, I had to miss her trip for some big reason.
Send a bottle
Yeah.
to the table on the trip. Do things on the trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Send things to her on the trip.
Do cute things like that. I would like take her out for a dinner in our hometown / if
Yeah.
we live in the same hometown. I would just like write her a really sweet long letter.
Yeah.
A letter goes a long way.
But make an effort. We had a few girls that couldn't come. Everyone that couldn't come on this trip, they all went in together, and like, it was the sweetest thing ever. Like,
Yeah.
we would show up to different restaurants throughout the trip, and there would be like a bottle of champagne waiting for Ashlyn to pop. And that was such a treat. Like, we didn't know that. We didn't have to decide that as a group. That was such a good way for them to be there and contribute to the vibe
Totally.
from afar. So it really felt like they weren't missing.
Right.
Like, they were like, we want
My-
you to have fun.
My sister and my own maid of honor had to skip my bachelorette because she was like so pregnant.
Yeah.
And obviously I was like, please don't even come to Tulum that pregnant. Nobody. we don't
No,
want-
I was going to say that too, because like,
And
Yeah.
and she sent a bottle, and to like one night while we were pre-gaming, like a big bottle of tequila, like nice tequila with all the shot things. It was so nice. Like, it was just like a nice thing to do. And I forget what else she did, but
because they're not like saying you're a bachelorette's not important to me.
God, no.
Right,
She,
like,
she
they're-
like felt so bad, and I was like, please don't come,
Right.
Jenna.
Right. But doing stuff like that for someone while they're on the trip, I think, is a great way to make it up, because
Yeah.
it's insinuating I really wanted to be there. Your bachelorette is not unimportant to me. I am thinking of you this weekend, and I want to do whatever I can to contribute to the vibe from afar.
Right. And just like follow up after, like ask about it, call her, FaceTime her, like just be interested.
But rule of thumb, never say no to a bachelorette party that you're in, like the bridal party you're in, because it is inconvenient for you.
Right.
That
If
is,
you're going to miss for a best friend or a bridesmaid, you've got to have a good reason.
there are a million reasons to miss.
Mm-hmm.
Miss for those reasons. Don't let one of them be because it's inconvenient for you.
Yeah, that's not a true friend,
Yeah.
I feel like.
So just saying, because I know we're all practicing establishing boundaries, and I think it's important to say what is an excuse and what's a boundary.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
One girl was sneakily turning up the heat in the Airbnb because she was cold, but everyone else was dying.
I just think that's funny.
I don't know why. I'm just picturing
Like
this,
on
this like house of girls just being like we're all
sweating.
sweating.
our AC went out on the last day on this trip, and we were all in my room because it was the only one with doors to the patio, and we were like drenching sweat. So I just find that to be like funny.
I mean, that's like lame of her. I would be like, can you fucking stop? But yeah, it's
Right.
funny.
But it's just like I can imagine her like creeping down like Gru to like
Yeah.
turn up the heat.
yeah,
Okay. Took mushrooms on an empty stomach on a boat day. It was horrific.
sounds like my worst nightmare.
Okay. I tried shrooms for the first time.
You've not done them before?
No, you guys, I like am weirdly like a goodie. I
Yeah.
never smoked a cigarette until like a
You
year
don't
and a
like
half
being in an
ago.
altered state.
No, I don't. Well,
Me
we
neither.
listened to me talk about like my experiences on medicine, so I guess I don't like it. But I don't know if I liked it. Everybody
You
was like, I
loved.
love it. It just made me so mellow. And I told my best friend, and I looked at her while I was like on them. I was like, I'm just a girl of extremes. Like, I don't know if I feel bored. Like, I was so baseline mellow. I was like, this might be the most boring thing I've ever experienced.
I'm no like shrooms expert girly, but when I've done them, it's only in a good environment, like a boat day. And I don't do a ton. Like, you're not like, I don't know. I don't do enough where you like feel it like a significant
No, it's like
change.
microdosing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, actually, I have on accident done too much.
Too
before
much?
and felt it, baby.
Oh, no.
But like it was fine. But
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, on an empty stomach, I did this in Rome when it was 104 degrees, and it was I was like learning about the Romans killing each other, and let's just say it was I thought I was gonna die. I'm like in the Pantheon or whatever the fuck. I'm like keeled over. It was me, Mike, his best friend, and his best friend's girlfriend.
Wait, at least you weren't with their family.
No, I was like, you gotta get me a Gatorade. They had to we had to pause the tour. They had to get me a Gatorade. I thought I was gonna die. They were like, Nicole, you've just like not done shrooms that much. You're fine. And I literally it was just like just don't do shrooms in Rome when it's over 100
Don't
degrees,
do that.
Period.
Wait, I'm a later in life type of like I'll try stuff gal, like, but like I've never done anything like worse than smoke weed. Ever. And I won't. And I never even smoked weed until I was like 25. Like I tried it like twice in college, basically.
Wow. I did a lot in high school.
Right. Like I don't know why I'm this way, and I really think it's because I'm a Virgo. But so now I just like don't feel bad when I try stuff because I'm like,
you're in
whatever.
a good place in your life.
Yeah, like I'm like, whatever, I'll try it. I did it at a cousin's wedding. I hit my sister's cake part in the bathroom at my cousin's wedding. And I thought I was having a stroke for the next 2 hours. And I stood in the back of the pavilion, not moving. And my mom kept trying to ask me what was wrong with me. But I couldn't.
Because you were high?
No, but I couldn't talk. Like, that's how bad it was.
Gotten like that.
So she was like poking me. And I was like,
yeah, no.
I'm just wavering. I couldn't talk. She's asking me if I'm pregnant, but I can't even answer. It was... I mean, in front of every extended family member I've ever seen.
No, I that's hilarious.
After this episode comes out, I'll share a photo because sometimes they just drop it. No, I mean, seriously, not for me. No. Like, it's not for me. But
I hit a bong once in college or high school. I forget. It was home for the summer at the beach, and I was with like all these guys from my hometown and stuff. But I was like trying to impress, right? Be impressive. And
that's a slippery slope.
Huge bong hit, rip, whatever the fuck the potheads
I didn't even know what to call them.
I don't know. I always call it like doing weed. My friends are like, Nicole, oh my God.
No, I know. I think I just said that.
And I couldn't speak. And my sister picked me up and made it way worse. She was like, oh my God, you're so high right now. I was like, ah. And she was like,
that's such a middle child thing to be upset about that. Why would you be upset about her saying?
Like, should I tell mom and dad? And
yeah, that's funny.
Shut up.
Jenna's hilarious. I would do the same thing.
I need to write.
It's not bullying. It's just funny. It's just funny. I'm sorry. Okay, but anyway, she was probably vomiting, and always pack a whole thing of Dramamine for a boat day.
Yes.
Maid of honor, bring it every single time. Pass it out on the bus on the way to the boat.
Also, just like, be the friend on the bachelorette party, or have the friend who is like making people drink water. I'm usually that friend, and I love it. Drinking water is so underrated when you're drinking alcohol.
I think the reason that I feel like I get less hungover now when I'm not eating gluten, and I've discovered this for myself, I used to not be a water drinker at all.
No, water solves all.
And water solves all problems. Okay, the bride made me change my pants because she didn't like how they looked in the pics.
This is my favorite one.
Okay,
Regina George.
What were the pants, my girl?
No,
I don't think there's an excuse for making you change that. I'm just
You're
saying.
The bride. You are
I'm not.
Regina George.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. Like, how bad were they?
No. Probably not that bad.
Right, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just kind of confused because, like, I feel like to tell someone to change their pants is absurd.
Yeah.
Into what?
No,
that's what they packed.
Yeah, no. Okay, that's the thing. I don't give a like, if you're going to care that much about your photos, then like,
no, it's stupid.
That's stupid. Like, you should love your friends no matter what they wear, what they look like, whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just when I read this, I pictured this girl just wearing like normal pants and the bride kind of being insane and being like, I just don't like how they look.
But I just don't get that. As a girl that always makes sure the bride gets good photos in her outfits, I'm like, because you're going to want to remember this.
Yeah.
I'm like, in the beginning, get a good photo and then don't think about your phone once for the rest of the night. There is a balance. Who cares what other people are wearing? Other people are wearing what they packed and what they feel comfortable in.
Right.
What's wrong with you?
I would never make one of my friends change their outfit.
Also, for the record, the photo is for the memory.
Yeah.
The photos, because when you get home and you want to be like, this is my trip and oh my gosh, and you want the memories to pop up on your phone to be like, on this day, it's not because of what people are wearing.
Right. And if the photo's for the gram, then that's fine too, but get a different photo.
Then the bride should have taken an individual and put that on the gram.
Yeah,
I'm
nobody
sorry.
does group photos anymore.
Right. Like, why are you doing that? Like who cares? If you care that much about what's being worn, care about what you're wearing.
Yeah.
You have really no business caring about what other people wear.
Yeah.
I think
would
that's
just
kind of rude.
Never like single someone out and be like, change your pants.
Also, like, what a way to make someone feel bad about themselves. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
I would be upset, even as an onlooker.
Okay, so we had a decent amount of like stripper ones. So this person said, we got my friend a stripper. We were 24 and she locked herself in the bathroom and cried.
That would have been me.
So I can
That would
relate
be-
because when I was 24 and my sister was getting married, we was I 24? 23. I was 23. And we were in Vegas. Her friends, we were all young, including me, the maid of honor. And we were like, let's get a stripper. This was my first ever bachelorette party. Can I just say, getting a stripper at a bachelorette party is so traumatizing.
Don't do it.
No.
They tried to do it for mine, and someone was like, she will kill you.
Yeah.
And I thank God, because I would have, and I had my 17-year-old sisters with me.
Yeah, no. They're
And
underage.
this is a story for another time. My mom secretly came on my bachelorette. I didn't know she was there the
insane.
whole time. I didn't know for weeks. And then one of the girls later got drunk and let it slip that my mom was in Puerto Rico the whole time.
Why? Because your sisters?
Because of my sisters.
That's really
Apparently, I passed her in the hallway at one point. And then she had the audacity to lie about it.
That's psycho.
She wore a
That's
hat
funny.
she got in Puerto Rico to dinner with me. And I said, cute hat. Where is it from? She goes, a little boutique.
Never told Joe.
No, I said,
This is
I
insane.
said, my girl, you got it on my bachelorette trip.
I mean, I get why, because your sisters were literally not
No.
adults yet.
The rule, like, I was like, I'm not losing my sisters. One time, my sisters get in a fight, and the
surprised she let
littlest
them.
and the youngest one, Claire, runs to my mom's room. Nicole, I walk up to the table because this was still like in COVID, like they couldn't sit you all together. I walk up to the table where my sisters are sitting. I'm like, where is Claire? They're like, oh, she just kind of like walked away a few minutes ago. We don't know where she is. Meanwhile, I'm the only girl that doesn't know my mom's there. It is a secret I'm not in on. We're having dinner at the restaurant at the hotel my mom's staying in.
Would you have cared if she
Yes,
was?
literally. No, yes, I would have cared because I told, it was a whole thing. We're going to go into it. There's so much context later, but I would have cared. So I'm like, where is Claire? I don't know. The one thing was my mom was like, they don't have a supervisor. I'm like, why would I, of all people, let something happen to them? Claire is in my mom's room. I don't know that my mom is even there. Someone said Claire went to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. Claire is not there. What do? I got every staff member at the hotel. I had a search party outside.
A warrant.
I'm looking in the dumpster for her. I'm asking
She's
them.
just with your mom.
I had them pull up all the security tape.
That's
I'm
really funny.
screaming, and the whole time she's with my mom. I'm like, so the only time I lost her is when she was with you.
Yeah, that's really funny and crazy that they didn't tell you. But you probably made them feel like they couldn't tell you, so it's your fault.
No, my mom said, don't tell her. I will hurt you. Like, it was a huge secret.
It's like actually cool of your mom not to tell you.
What?
Like,
We can fight over this later.
yeah, this is the whole thing.
We can fight over this later. I don't agree with this. Okay.
Another stripper one, male stripper we ordered shows up,
Yeah.
completely different guy than we ordered. I mean, yes, that's gonna happen. That's what happened with us.
It's terrible.
I think I ordered like a cop. He was a firefighter or something dumb. I don't know. All I can say is like the strippers try to like test the boundary. We had to be, my sister, everybody, we had to be like, no, do not lift her up like that. Like,
oh, they tried to pick you up?
God,
no.
They threw all of us around in the air.
I don't think I've ever been to a strip club. I've never seen a stripper in real life. I think I'd actually pass away. I really would. It would be a sick prank. This one cracks me up, and we can read her DM after this. But this girl ate recalled romaine lettuce on the flight, and so she was vomiting the whole trip.
Oh, I know the person that actually submitted that one.
How do you find out it was recalled? Or did she know when she ate it?
She probably ate romaine lettuce and then saw that romaine lettuce was recalled. But that's really funny and just sucks.
Like, that is just absolute butt.
This person said, we went on a 2-day-long girls trip with 10 girls recently. One girl insisted on getting all the groceries and spent like $350 at Costco. We Venmoed her $35 each. She forgot over half of it. We had 3 boxes of croissants and 2 bags of bagels, but no cream cheese or butter or things to put on either of those things. Don't get me wrong, I love their croissants, but some of the girls were big mad about it. And no, we didn't get our money back. Also, mind you, none of it was alcohol because all the bitches were pregnant all of a sudden, so I drank alone.
That's hilarious to me.
We all Venmoed. Oh, and then she said, yeah, we all Venmoed her $35, which isn't much in the grand scheme of things, but she forgot the main things, so we still ended up going out for meals or ordering DoorDash.
Okay, so this is super quick. I just had an experience with this. It was my own thing, and the rule is she should have sent them the money back. So being one of the planners for this most recent trip, I ordered some things that didn't come in time. Mm-hmm. Do not Venmo request them. Yeah, you have to eat the cost. Even though for me, like one of the things arrived while I was literally on the flight. I was like, that sucks. Mm. But those girls don't get to use them. It's not their fault.
Right. Like if you're volunteering to plan and pay for something and it doesn't arrive. Yeah. You pay for it. The whole topic of like money, we could talk about this for the rest of the episode because the money with the Bachelorette, I think that's what starts the most fights. And like she said, $35 isn't a ton. Like at the end of the day, if you're losing that, whatever.
But use common sense.
But the right thing is like you as the one who ordered all that food, like then you have that food at home.
That's what I was saying. Like you're probably going to use it later or use some of it. And at the end of the day, even though it really sucks sometimes to eat it, it's like it's your mistake. Right. There was even like a float I ordered, like a Fun Boy, the Cabana float. And I didn't Venmo request anybody because I was like, you know what? I'll pack it up. I'll take it home. I'll send it to my parents' house and they can use it. Imagine if I Venmo requested the girls for their portion of that float to then just have it at my parents' house and use in perpetuity. To me, that's not fair. Yeah. And so I'm not going to request you. I just think there's an era of common sense.
Well, and I also think if you're stepping up to be the orderer of the floats and the decorations and the food and stuff, I think that also comes with being the one to be communicating with the whole group before you're ordering stuff. I know it's an extra step and I know it's annoying and I know you're already doing a lot of work as the planner, but I think it comes with the territory. You should just be like saying in the group text like, hey, everybody, I think Ashlyn will really love this float. Is it cool if I get this? And Venmo, if in your case, if you were to Venmo them for it or Venmo request them for it. I think like it is important because I've seen horror stories of girls on these trips just like ordering $1,000 worth of decorations and being like, hey, each of you owes me $200 for the decorations.
No, it's really terrible. Also, like I didn't give the girls a say on the float. Like it was just a decision made between like the planning
for it.
Right. It was a decision made between like the planning committee. So I was like, they didn't agree to this. I'm not going to Venmo request them. I think this applies in the grocery situation because if you forgot the groceries, like at the end of the day, if something's at the house and you guys choose not to use it, still split the cost. Right. But it needs to be there. It needs to have the option to be used. Right. It needs to be provided. And if something goes wrong, as unfortunate as it is, you cannot say like, hey, still Venmo me for this because you're eating that cream cheese next week.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Because this gets into a lot of debate about like paying for the villa or the Airbnb or the hotel rooms.
For the bride?
Well, no, but yes.
I mean, I think we already established we don't like that
too. Yeah, I'm very big on like bride pays her own way for these trips.
It's your trip, girlie.
I'm a big fan of like everybody chip in for a dinner for the bride. Like one of the nights, like you cover the bride's dinner. I've seen on Bachelorette parties where we've covered both dinners for both nights. Like whatever. I'm not going to be like a stickler about that kind of. But I would never on like my Tulum trip be like, now cover my flight and cover my Airbnb villa. And
that's crazy.
Like no. But
what were you going to say?
There's some cases where like a friend can't stay the last night or can't make it the first night. Oh. Do you think they should still have to pay for the Airbnb?
I feel like it's whatever floats your boat. For me, if it was me, I would still say I'm happy to pay for all of the nights.
Right.
And even for the girls on this trip that couldn't, they were like, I'm, happy to pay for all of the nights. The bride did split it up so they didn't have to pay for all of the nights. But I personally think it's an extra step of effort that isn't necessary. And if I really had to go the next step further to think about it, when you book the house and you split it between the girls and you split it between the nights, that's one cost. And when you adjust it, because a girl says, we just like don't know people's specific reasons. So maybe someone can't see all of the nights, but maybe someone just wants to leave earlier, wants to come later. It makes the cost more expensive for the rest of the girls. And like that's not necessarily, it's like getting a grade on a test. If your teacher gives you a B but you deserved an A, they'll change it to an A. But if they give you a B but it was actually a C, they can't take it down because they already gave you a B.
Mike has a bachelor party in Nashville in a couple weeks, and we were talking about like his flights and stuff, and he was like, he might come back the night before because the flights the next day are either like crack of dawn 5 a.m. or 8 p.m. and he doesn't want to dwell that long there. So he was like, I might just come back the night before. He's a big he's over bachelor parties at this point in his life. And I was like, would you still have to pay for that? And he was like, yeah, no, I don't care about paying. I'm still going to offer to pay.
Because when you book I think it's the principle of, okay, you booked the house, you sent it to the group. Hopefully people signed off on it. You've reviewed the cost. It's a flat rate. We've all agreed to pay this rate. Even the girls or guys that can't come for all of the nights have agreed to that rate.
Yeah.
Even when they go to book their flights, they are booking their flights knowing that the house of the cost is just what the house of the cost. Can I talk?
Cost of the house. Yes. Yeah.
The cost of the house is just what the cost of the house is.
I agree. I do think maybe the only exception would be if when you're talking about booking that weekend and that trip, if somebody's like, listen, my 1-year-old's birthday is that Saturday, so I'm not going to stay till Sunday. I'm going to fly home on that Saturday.
Yeah.
And they tell you first right up front, and then I could see at being the bride, I would be like, okay, well then I don't want to make Meredith pay. Who the fuck is Meredith? I don't have a friend named Meredith, but for the sake, I'd be like, I don't want to make Meredith pay for the last night. She told me right up first, and I would probably just reach out to the group and be like, hey, is it cool if we cover Meredith?
I think it's hard because it's so.
If I've seen a lot of cases with Bachelor's brides and stuff with brides being like, so-and-so backed out last second and wants her money back for the last night for the Airbnb. Then it's
you're not getting your money back. I'm sorry. Well, I had that happen when one of the girls got COVID. The day, she tested positive the night before her flight, and it's in the scenario, it's kind of like you were exposing yourself to it, and you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really contextual. I also think that be an aware bride, because most of the time we're gonna say, we already agreed to the cost of the house. And so in our brains, when we're doing whether we can afford the trip or not, we're saying this is the cost of the house. We're not saying, well, I can only afford it if I have to pay less for the house, and so I'm going to come for 3 days. And I think that's where, as a person going on the trip, you should really assess, can I afford this trip? Also, am I going to be like this about everything on the trip, and is it going to cause me to be resentful towards the bride and have a bad time? Yeah. And is that really worth it?
That's what I was going to say too. I'll say no to plenty of vacations and just little travels that I want to do, because if I ever feel like money is going to be tight, yes, could I feasibly sort of afford it? Sure. But if I feel like I'm going to have to skimp the whole time and think about money constantly, it almost stresses me out more to even go at that point.
I think it's really hard. It's a easier said than done to say no to a bachelorette, but I think it really is important to draw that line.
Yeah.
And I've had to do that, and it just sucks, you know, but it just is what it is. But I do think
a good friend won't fault you for saying no if you have a good reason.
I agree. And I also think as a bride, if you know that there's a friend that's doing everything physically possible to be able to come on your trip, and they're not coming for all of the nights, make sure they don't have to pay for all of them. Yeah. Because even if they didn't ask, I just think a lot of it is just reading the room.
Be a reasonable person.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so some of these other DMs that we got are really hilarious. The first one being bride-to-be brought back randos from the bar and went skinny dipping with them. That like the bride.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. I've seen skinny dipping happen on bachelorette parties, but never with the bride.
The bride.
Or never with like a married person in a relationship.
That is giving me Nicole. Because like I don't know. Just to me, women are like superior, and I'm like a woman would never do this.
No.
But did you see the recent TikTok where the girl was like, "Your fiance cheated on you"?
So viral.
On that bachelor party in Vegas.
Yes.
She like was like his name rhymes with whatever. Girls, I guess, do that too.
That's like icky.
That is nasty work. That is nasty work.
Wait, this one's really funny.
Also, the faith in her friends to not say anything.
20
like, are you guys
girls,
okay?
Yeah, no. 20 girls in one house with only one bathroom. That's something on a girls' trip.
That's just funny to me.
I'm planning on making a funny skit video about this because I've been thinking about this for a while. The bathroom on a girls' trip is insane to me. Even if you have like 4 people, there's always that awkward tension when you're on the way back from the beach or whatever the day activity is, where it's like, who's going to shower first? Who's going to get... And like, I'm not trying to be a diva, but my hair can't dry natural. Takes forever to do.
Oh, so you need to shower first.
I'm always like, guys, can I just fucking shower first? Like, sorry,
I don't
to be
care.
So selfish.
I am always the girl that's like, I'll stay here. I'll go swimming for a little longer.
Yeah, because your hair dries naturally gorgeous.
Well, I just like don't even like, this was so gross, but I didn't wash my hair while I was there because I just like the way it dries with the salt air.
I love that, and I wish I had that.
But I know that
like
about me,
poodle.
so I'm just like, you guys all rinse off last. I really don't care.
Well, and that's the thing. I recognize if I have to be the first shower, I'm in and out. I'm not taking a joy shower. I take world's fastest shower, and I'm in and out. And then I'm like, here, go.
Or I just, wait a second. Can we back up? Why are you guys not showering together?
We do that. We do that too.
Yeah, wait a second.
But like when there's like 10. But like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but pair up.
My friends know, like if they're in the shower first, I'm getting in with them.
Yeah, same. Our shower was so cold this trip. I couldn't even do it. You know, I don't like to be cold. So I was just like, I'm getting in with you.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a problem?
No, it shouldn't be.
Like, just shower together. Honestly, it's way more fun.
Okay, I have to go to my Russian nail appointment.
Yes, you do.
At the end of the day, just be a decent human on these batch parties and be a good vibe.
We love you. We'll see you next week. We love talking about bachelorettes. We love talking about friends. I hope everybody has fun this bachelorette season.
This episode is the beginning of many because we didn't get to nearly what we wanted.
I know.
And we could talk about bachelorette parties forever. Submit your questions, honeywe'rehomepodcast@gmail.com. Follow us and DM at honeywe'rehomepod on Instagram because that's where we'll see your stuff.
And also tell them where they can find you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nicole Pellegrino. Oh, at the end is a 0.
And I'm Caroline Crawford Patterson on Instagram. So there you go. You never say that. Rate, review, subscribe. And tell us what else you want us to get into about bachelorettes and friend stuff, because I really think we're all in the same boat here, and I don't think any of us totally know what we're doing. So it's a group effort.
This whole podcast could be about that.
I think by the end of 2024, we'll be the perfect invitees, all of us.
Invite us to your batch.
Invite us. Let us know. Let us know how to show up better.
Just kidding. I'm too poor for that. Love you guys.
Love you guys. See you later.